It is truly unique for a show to come along that blows you away from every single angle of storytelling. A show that has such perfect writing, cinematography, pacing, character development, and flow, it leaves you in total awe of the pure magical experience you just had the pleasure of watching. However, when it happens, you are reminded of why you crave such greatness and loathe mediocre pieces of entertainment. Haunting of Hill House is one of those rare shows that grasps a hold of you and refuses to let go. What makes this even more noteworthy is no one really expected this show to be a masterpiece. Haunting of Hill House is a modern reimagining of the Shirley Jackson novel, directed and produced by Mike Flanagan, whose past work includes Absentia, Oculus, Hush, Before I Wake, Ouija, Origin of Evil, and Gerald's Game. The show leads us through the nightmares of the Crane family. The tragic and mysterious death of the mother, Olivia Crane, leads to the Crane children being placed with their aunt, as well as putting a cloud of suspicion on the father, Hugh Crane. In the present day, the siblings are all living their own complicated and haunted lives. We first meet Stephen Crane, the eldest Crane sibling, who made his family's misfortunes famous by his book entitled, well, you guessed it, Haunting of Hill House. Even though he made a book about the chilling history, he doesn't believe any of the supernatural happenings, only that his family suffers from severe and untreated mental illness. Despite his skepticism, Stephen has no problem raking in tons of money and fame, all the while knowing the demons that many of his family members still endure. So, as anyone can imagine, this causes tension between the siblings, particularly Nell, the youngest sister, who confronts Stephen in front of a meet and greet for Stephen's fans. As the story progresses, we're thrown back and forth from present day to past events, slowly showing bits and pieces of the terrifying events that unravelled at the crumbling Gothic mansion that Olivia and Hugh Crane had purchased, with the aim of restoring it and using the proceeds to buy their forever house. What is so interesting about the way their story is told is the way Mike Flanagan shows each sibling's perspective of the same events. This unusual yet brilliant way of displaying events is incredibly engaging, and allows the viewer to fully connect with each character. However, if the viewer isn't entirely paying attention to the rapid changing of going back and forth to the past and present, as well as moving from character to character, it can get a little confusing. Each family member is plagued with their own set of demons. As stated earlier, the eldest sibling Stephen is a skeptic who is so terrified of his family's ailing mental disorders that he underwent a vasectomy. However, he failed to tell his wife of many years that he couldn't have children until it was already too late. Nell, the youngest of the Crane siblings, she is cursed with horrible sleep paralysis, which leads to one of the most terrifying moments in the show, in episode 5, The Bent Neck Lady. Nell ends up committing suicide at the Hill House, with the nudge of her ghost mother. Without giving too much away, Nell was actually seeing herself through her whole life. In essence, she was being tormented by herself. Poor Luke is a recovering drug addict, who appears to be the most traumatized by the events of his unfortunate life. His demon comes in the form of a creepy tall guy who follows him around at the most inconvenient of times. You no doubt feel deeply for Luke as he tries to seek help, only to be endlessly tormented. Shirley is the oldest of the Crane family siblings. She has tough skin and appears to be closed off emotionally. There aren't as many terrifying events in her storyline, however, you can tell she's deeply affected by her life. Then there is Theodora Crane, who is a psychologist and also appears to have a supernatural gift that allows her to feel others' soul when she touches them. This appears to be unbearable when she touches her sister Nell's cold, dead hand, only to feel nothing. For this reason, she always wears gloves and appears very distant to, well, everyone. So there you have it, a brief overview, and as you can tell, Haunting of Hill House is much more than your typical run-of-the-mill horror show. It's an unlikely masterpiece that is impossible to describe in such a short review. It's just one of those shows you have to watch for yourself, and for that reason, we give this show a 5 out of 5. Go watch it right now.